Hello everyone, I am Nupur Saxena and today we will be discussing about types of audit report. This is really important topic from your exam point of view as well. So in this presentation, we'll be starting with audit report. Then we'll be discussing about types of audit report. So basically 4 types of audit report are there. Unqualified opinion, qualified opinion, adverse opinion and disclaimer of opinion. Then we'll be discussing about difference between qualified, adverse and disclaimer of opinion. And finally, we'll be discussing about difference between clean audit report and qualified audit report. Now, what is an audit report? So, audit report is basically a written opinion of an auditor regarding an entity's financial statement. The report is written in a standard format as mandated by generally accepted auditing standards. Okay, CAS. So, in the audit opinion, the auditor basically state his or her opinion about the true and fair view of the financial statements of the company, that is the balance sheet and the profit and loss account. So whether those statements are showing true and fair view, the auditor needs to give his or her opinion regarding that only. Now, based on the kinds of opinion expressed by the auditor, the audit report can be classified into 4 types: unqualified opinion, qualified opinion, adverse opinion, and disclaimer of opinion. Out of these 4, the last 3, qualified, adverse, and disclaimer of opinion, are also known as modified report. Now, to start with, let's discuss about unqualified opinion. Now, where the auditor does not have any reservation, objections regarding the information under audit, then he will issue an unqualified opinion. So, if in the opinion of the auditor, he accepts the accounting treatment given to various transactions and he thinks that profit and loss and the balance sheet show true and fair view of the company's state of affairs, then in that case he will give the company an unqualified opinion. So this unqualified opinion is also known as a clean report. So this is the best report. So when the auditor think that the company has followed all the generally accepted accounting principle, its account is completely okay, there are evidence to various transactions and everything is fine, then in that case there is no misstatement, no fraud according to his point of view, then in that case he will give the company a clean report. The second is qualified opinion. So if the auditor, having obtained sufficient appropriate audit evidences, conclude that misstatement individually or in aggregate are material but not pervasive to the financial statement, then in that case he or she will issue a qualified opinion. So, or we can also say that if the auditor is unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence, say, so on which he can base his or her opinion, but the auditor conclude that the possible effect of the financial statement of undetected misstatement, if any, could be material but not pervasive. So in that situation, he or she will issue to the company a qualified opinion. So where the auditor express a qualified opinion, he should also state in his report the reason for the same, so that the reader can assess their significance and effect. Now, the example of qualified opinion is, for example, inventory are misstated and the misstatement is deemed to be material, but it is not pervasive to the financial statement. On out of all the transactions that are there in the financial statement, say only inventories are misstated, but rest of the transactions are okay, they are recorded correctly. So in that case, since it is material but not pervasive, that is that misstatement is not flowing throughout the financial statement, so in that case the auditor will give his opinion as a qualified opinion for the misstatement. Now let's talk about adverse opinion. So where as a result of examination of books of account, the auditor conclude that he does not agree with the true and fair view of financial statement under audit, then he will express an adverse or negative opinion regarding it. So the adverse opinion is appropriate in circumstances where the auditor has reservation on matters such as the accounting policy selected and their application, adequacy of disclosures made, and where the auditor considers that the impact of reservation or qualification is so material and pervasive that the financial statement as a whole do not give a true and fair view. So in that case, where the auditor will give an adverse opinion, and for this also he should state in his report the reason for the same, so that the reader can assess their significance and effect. So we say that adverse opinion is, for example, let's say that you have followed a certain accounting policy for depreciation, and let's say you have followed a straight line method, but as per accounting principle, for certain inventories or for certain assets, you need to follow the WDV method, and you have applied straight line method. So since the method is not correct, the method that you have selected is not correct, so that in that case the auditor may give an adverse opinion. So you need to check that whether the accounting policy selected and their applications that you have made is correct or as per accounting policy, as per generally accepted accounting principles or not, and if it is not there, then the auditor may issue an adverse opinion. So the financial statement are materially misstated due to non-consolidation of a subsidiary. So we have taken an example that if the financial statement are materially misstated due to non-consolidation of subsidiary, so the material misstatement is deemed to be pervasive to the financial statement. The effect of the misstatement on financial statement had not been determined because it was not practicable to do so. So an adverse audit opinion is given under this circumstance. Alright, so in this says basically that when a company is having a subsidiary, then it must consolidate the account of the subsidiary also before preparing its complete financial statement. So if the company is unable to do so, then the auditor may issue an adverse opinion, because in that case the company's financial statement is not showing true and fair view. The picture may be completely changed while inclusion of those subsidiary accounts. Now the next is disclaimer of opinion. So the disclaimer of opinion is a situation when auditor is not in a position to give his opinion because he is unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidences which enable him to draw his conclusion. So in that case, it is a situation where the company or its management is not able to show appropriate audit evidences to the auditor for various transactions that are there in the financial statement, and since there is no appropriate evidence, then the auditor is unable to draw his conclusion or his opinion about the financial states of the company. So in that case, since he is unable to form any opinion, he will give a disclaimer of opinion that there are no evidences that he can see or match the transactions with and can form his opinion. So where auditor expresses a disclaimer of opinion, he should also state in his report the reason for the same, so that the reader can assess their significance and effect as well. So in this case, we say that the misstatement could be both material as well as pervasive. So it may happen, but the auditor is not sure about it. Now, example of disclaimer of opinion is the auditor was unable to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence about multiple elements of the financial statement. That is, the auditor was unable to obtain audit evidence about the entity inventory and account receivable. So the possible effect of the inability to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidences are deemed to be both material and pervasive to the financial statement. So a disclaimer of audit opinion is given in such circumstances. Now let's talk about the difference between qualified opinion, adverse opinion, and disclaimer of opinion. So the difference will depend on auditor's professional judgment about the materiality of the subject matter and its pervasiveness. So for example, if a misstatement in inventory is there, then in that case the auditor should consider the effect of such misstatement on total current asset, current liabilities, working capital, total assets, income tax payable, excise duty payable, cost of goods sold, and earning available to the shareholders. So if the inventory is not a significant portion of the asset, then the auditor may give a qualified opinion, and if it is a significant portion of the asset, then he will issue an adverse report. So thus, as misstatement become more pervasive, the likelihood of issuing an adverse opinion increases as compared to a qualified opinion. Okay. Similarly, in cases of a client imposed material limitation on scope of audit, so the auditor may issue a disclaimer of opinion instead of a qualified opinion. And if a disclaimer of opinion is insufficient evidence to form an opinion, but sufficient evidence is available, so in that case he will give an adverse opinion. So in case where disclaimer of opinion, the auditor is not sure whether the financial statement give a true and fair view, but in case of adverse opinion, he categorically states that financial statement do not give a true and fair view. So the difference is very clear. First, we have talked about that if the client imposed any material limitation on the scope of audit, he is not allowing the auditor to access books of account or is not cooperating with the auditor, then the auditor may issue a disclaimer of opinion instead of a qualified opinion. Now, the second point talks about disclaimer of opinion and adverse opinion. So, what is the difference between these two? If insufficient evidence is there, then in that case he will give a disclaimer of opinion, and if sufficient evidences are available, then in that case he will issue an adverse opinion. Similarly, if the auditor is not sure whether the financial statement give a true and fair view, but in case of adverse opinion, he categorically state that the financial statement do not give a true and fair view. Now let's talk about the difference between clean audit report and qualified audit report. So clean audit report basically means the auditor expresses an unqualified audit opinion, that is opinion without any reservations. But in case of qualified audit report, the auditor expresses an opinion with reservation therein. Secondly, when issued, so clean audit report is issued when financial statement give a true and fair view. Secondly, they are prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principle. Thirdly, the company comply with all the statutory requirements. And fourth, they have adequate disclosures. They have made adequate disclosures. Then, in that case, they will issue a clean audit report. And for qualified audit report, they will issue when subject matter for reservation is material but not pervasive, and the auditor believes that the overall financial statement gives a true and fair view. In case of limited company, we say that if the auditor makes various statutory affirmations contained in section 27 without any reservation, he is said to have issued an unqualified or clean report. But in case if any of the statutory affirmation that is there in section 227 subsection 2 and section 227 subsection 3 are answered in negative or with qualification by the auditor, then the audit report would be termed as qualified audit report. With this, we have come to an end of this chapter. Hope that you have learned everything, and if in case of any doubt, you may contact me. Thank you.